Today we're going to finish up section 7.2. In 7.2 video 1, we graphed a rational function in the form a over x. Then we moved to example 2, where we had translations. The bottom number moved the graph left and right, and this number moved it up and down. Now, if I were to combine these two and make it into one fraction, we'd have a problem that looks like example 3. So notice in example 3, it's all one polynomial over another polynomial. So what you need to do is figure out the vertical and horizontal asymptotes. Now I'll explain how you get it, but you're probably just best off memorizing how to get each of these. To get your vertical asymptote, the equation will be x equals negative d over c. So if you remember, you're getting a vertical asymptote from the denominator, and all you have to do is make the denominator equal to 0 and solve. When I do that with the generic form, I'm going to try and get x by itself. So I'm going to subtract d to the other side and then divide both sides by c. And that's how they got negative d over c as the vertical asymptote. Next, horizontal asymptote. Horizontal asymptote, you're just going to simply memorize it's the ratio of a over c right here. That'll give you your HA. So let's look at example 3. So to begin graphing, I want to list the VAs and the HAs. The VA, again, is the denominator equal to 0. All I have to do is add 3 to the other side, so x equals 3. If you look at it as negative d over c, it would be negative 3 over 1, which is the same as 3. Next, let's look at the HA. The HA is going to be y equals the coefficients of the x terms. So I have 2 over 1, or y equals 2. When you make your table of values, just like in the examples from yesterday, you want to put the VA in the middle. Choose 2 numbers less than the VA and 2 numbers greater than the VA. You can then plug each of these into the equation and figure out their y values. I'll do one for you. If I plug in 1, I get 2 times 1 plus 1 over 1 minus 3. That's 2 plus 1 is 3. 1 minus 3 is negative 2, so I get negative 3 halves, or negative 1.5. Do the same for the other points. At 2, we get negative 5. At 4, you'll get 9. And at 5, you'll get 11 over 2, which is the same as 5.5. Now let's begin sketching. First, let's sketch our VA and our HA. Our VA at x equals 3, so count 1, 2, 3, and draw a vertical asymptote. Our HA is at 2, 1, 2. Make sure you're crossing through the y-axis for your horizontal asymptote. Next, let's plot the points. Negative 1, negative 1.5. I'm sorry, that's positive 1. Positive 1, negative 1.5. 2, negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's off the graph. And 5, 5.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Connect in a smooth curve and try and get closer and closer to your asymptotes. Connect in a smooth curve and hug your asymptotes. So there's our graph. Lastly, let's state the domain and range. For the domain, it's going to be all x values except our VA number, which is 3. For the range, you're going to have all y values except for the HA number of 2. Another option is rewriting a problem like example 3 into a form that you're already familiar with. And we can rewrite by doing long division. Let's look at example 4. So in example 4, you can see this problem looks a lot like example 3, and we could find the VA by doing negative d over c and the HA by doing a over c. Or you can rewrite this form into this form that we've already done in example 2. How we do that? You have to do long division. You're going to divide the denominator into the numerator. Now this should be a pretty easy long division. You're only going to really have the one number. So what you need to do is think what times x will equal 3x, and it'll be a 3. So multiply the 3 through, we get 3x plus 3. Next, you'll draw the line and change the signs. When you add down, have a remainder of 2. So you always write your remainder over what you were dividing by, your divisor. So the new equation for g of x will be 2 over x plus 1 plus a 3. Notice I'm writing the remainder in front. You can then see that your VA will come from this denominator here. The VA will be -1, and your HA will be 3. You can place your VA into your table and pick 2 points less than and 2 points greater than. That should be -3. You can plug -3 into either equation, the new rewritten one or the original problem. Either way, you're going to get a value of 2. Plugging -2 in, you get 1, and then 0, 5, and 1, 4. So let's start graphing. I'm going to draw my x and y axes. I'm going to use a dotted line to represent my VA of -1, and I'm going to have an HA of 3. Plot the points. -3, 2, -2, 1, 0, 5, and 1, 4. Connect the dots in a smooth curve and hug your asymptotes. They want us to describe the transformation. We definitely shifted left 1. We went up 3. And it's a little bit further away from the center. So you could call that a vertical stretch. Please have any questions ready.